Hi, I've just come back from staying for a week at the Rosamar Hotel in Benidorm, and as there was lots of negative reviews about the place on Facebook before I left and on TripAdvisor, I thought I'd do my own review of it. So, for those of you who don't know, the Rosamar has been closed for an extensive amount of time for building work. I think they'd built an extension on it, and from what I can gather, the extension then fell down. So then they closed the place and carried on with the building work. So it opened up, I think, around about the first week in June, the first to the second week in June of this year, 2024. So we went around about 3 or 4 weeks after it had opened. So on first impressions, the hotel looks beautiful. Nice from the front. You walk in, it's got a lovely clean and bright reception area. The reception's on the right and the bar's on the left, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Then you get to the reception to do your check-in, and that's where it all ends. For me, I'm used to staying at the Presidente or the Helios, so I can only compare it to those places. But the reception staff were rude. Every one of them except one lady. She'd got long black hair. She was absolutely wonderful, and she would bend over backwards to help you. But everybody else that you spoke to, they were just completely rude and ignorant. The rooms were okay. Our room, we had I don't know if it's called a family room or a suite. So it had a bed in one side, and then you had like a partition wall, and then you had a sofa bed in the other side. The sofa bed was made up for us on the night when we got there, so we couldn't see what it was like in the dark sort of thing. But when we folded it up during the day to sit on, it was filthy. It was full of stains all over the seats, stains all over the arms. There was a light fitting on the wall that had a big hole behind it in the wall. I will insert footage of all this at the end, and there's a tour of the hotel as well. We were greeted by a giant cockroach. So that's the rooms. I don't think there was anything else major with the rooms. They offer a laundry service. There's a list in your room, but it's really expensive. I think I took some footage of the prices. And the safe, I believe, was €3 a day. You had to pay for the safe. That's the first time I've been in one where I've had to pay for the safe. So going down to the pool area, you've got the pool bar, and if you're all inclusive, you get a little green token, and basically you have to hand that token over every time you want a drink, and they give you a plastic cup. So if you're having alcohol, tell them what you want and they will put it in the cup. But if you're having soft drinks, just at the end of the bar, you can go and you can help yourself to the soft drinks. And then you give them the glass back at the end of the plastic cup back at the end of the day, and they give you your token back. It is a weird situation that I've never seen before. I don't know why they run it like that. The pool was always busy, and it was very rare you could get a sunbed. The entertainment staff around the pool were fantastic, I have to say. They were the best staff in there, I think. But it was always busy in the pool, so whatever they were doing, whether it was aquarobics or some sort of games in the pool, it was always packed in there. The evening entertainment, I will say, was definitely not worth watching. I think one night it was somebody spinning plates, and most of the time it was in Spanish, so we couldn't understand a word of it. The hotel is very geared up towards the Spanish. The signs in the restaurant were in Spanish. There were very few of the foods that were listed in English. Like I say, a lot of the entertainment was in Spanish as well. There's an area round the corner where there's the splash pool for the younger children. It's got water slides and things. I will tell you now that on Jet2's website that looked huge, but it isn't. It's tiny in comparison to that picture. My children are grown up, so we didn't use it, but the snack bar's round there, so we ventured round that side. So that's, yeah, like I said, that's where you will find the snack bar, but we didn't touch the snack bar at all because most of the food is sat out in the sun all day and it looked gross. So going on to the restaurant, well, you'll see further on in the video a picture of an egg. My mum got a boiled egg and I have never seen, you have to peel it yourself, and I've never seen a boiled egg looking like that. It was brown, it was gross. The food choices was very limited, the poorest I've seen, especially for an all-inclusive. I think the day I took the footage of the evening meal was actually the best night. It was a Sunday and they'd put on like a roast dinner. If you've got children, the picky children especially, there was always chips on at lunchtime and tea time, so they can always get something. There's pizza on an evening, but it's not pizza as we know it. It's pizza made on wraps. It was very nice, don't get me wrong. In fact, I ate that most nights because, like I say, the choices were very poor. There's a fresh station where a chef stands and cooks. He only cooks one thing, so like one night it was fish and it stunk the restaurant out. Another night it was like pork chops. My mum tried a lot from the fresh station and she said the meats were chewy. She couldn't chew through them, basically because he's cooking them so quick on this like frying pan type thing. So yeah, the salad bar, I would say, is the nicest part of it. They had a nice looking salad bar and it was always fresh looking, apart from the boiled eggs obviously. They had lots of different breads for you to choose from. You do have to, there is a queue for the meals, especially if you go when it just starts, or after a couple of hours. That's when all the Spanish tend to go down for their meals, so it's hectic at that time. And the hotel was full of Spanish. I'd say 90% of people in there were Spanish, and they were rude. They're not like us English. They don't want to queue. They were pushing in and arguing with people. So yeah, I would avoid the food at all costs. I am not a picky eater by any means, but like I say, even I struggled. Lunchtimes I had salad most lunchtimes, and in the evenings I had the pizza. If you're travelling with relatives that have mobility issues, I would try and request a lower floor, because they have 5 lifts. One of them most of the time was out of action, it kept breaking down. And at busy times, at peak times like your meal times and first thing in the morning when people are going out for the pool, there is a long wait for the lifts. You can be waiting like 10 minutes. And going back again to the Spanish being rude, I don't mean to keep harping on about it, because I've never experienced the Spanish being rude in any other place in Benidorm other than in this hotel. But they were pushing and shoving in the lifts. One day I witnessed one Spanish lady, she made everybody get out of the lift that they were already in, so that 2 people in a wheelchair that were in the queue could go in. I have nothing against that, but it was the way she went about it. She was arguing with the people that didn't want to get out of the lift. Her finger was in the face, she was wagging it at them, and yes, she was really rude, and it nearly ended up in a fisticuffs with somebody else. So another bugbear of mine, if you've got elderly relatives that you're going with, is that everywhere is slippy, especially around the pool bar. People were like, we would get out of the water, put on some flip-flops, or we would dry our feet before we went up to the bar. People weren't doing that. They were just getting out of the pool and coming up to the bar, and around the bar area it's like tiled floor, and there weren't non-slip. The amount of people that I saw go flying was ridiculous, and I spent most of my holiday saying to my mum and dad, please be careful for God's sake on that floor. I was just scared that they were going to do themselves an injury while we were over in Spain. And the toilets around the pool, they must have been like 3-inch thick in water. It was disgusting. So in my opinion, I won't be returning to the Rosamar. My parents said they won't ever go again, and every English person that I spoke to around the pool all said the same, that they would never visit. I was speaking to a couple of people that had been going there for 20 years that absolutely loved it, and now they said they'd never go again. But that's, you know, everybody has different opinions, so you can go and make up your own mind. Anyway, I'll insert the footage now and you can see for yourself. So you can see as you walk into the reception that it is absolutely stunning. There's a room just to the side of the reception where you can keep your luggage in on your final day. There's a slope for people less mobile or for wheelchair users. I think that's the TUI rep trying to join in on the action. We have some toilets down here. A nice seating area downstairs. And then in the back room of the reception, we have the children's play area. This was very well equipped. It's got some air hockey tables, games machines and ride-ons and such. Then opposite the reception area we have the bar. Again, absolutely stunning, couldn't fault it. So this is your bathroom. It's got a nice, decent sized shower. Then they've left some toiletries, a couple of glasses. You've got a nice big area here to get ready, hairdryer and mirror. A little bin down there. Then you've got like a little kitchenette type thing, full size fridge, microwave, but there's nothing at all in these cupboards. So if you're planning on coming here and sort of making some meals in the microwave, you will need to go out and buy some plates or bring some with you. The same for cutlery, there's no cutlery either. We also have a kettle and 2 cups. And then we're going to the main bedroom. Apologies if you can hear the noise coming from outside. It's quite noisy out there today. So we've got the bed. We've got bedside table. A television on the wall. Like a double wardrobe, hanging space in that side, shelves in that side. The safe is €3 a day. Okay, if I'm being ultra picky in this room, you have a hole in the wall that could be made to look a bit more presentable. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up very well, but the tops of the lamps don't look like they've been dusted in weeks. So when you walk in the door, you've got this area here with the sofa bedding. This was already made up for us when we arrived because we arrived late at night. And you can see there's just a partition between the 2 rooms. So it's a double sofa bed. Apparently it's quite comfortable, so my daughter says. And the bed in the main side of the room is probably one of the most comfortable beds I've ever slept in. Again, you get a television on the wall at this side. Sorry if it's a bit dark. We've got to have the curtains closed. It's so warm in here. And then you've got a little table and 2 chairs to sit at. We have a full-size mirror on that side. This is the balcony. As you can see, it's not very big, but it's adequate. I wouldn't suggest hanging your clothes out to dry on that. Otherwise you're going to end up with rust marks all over your clothes. You see the dirt all the way down there, but to be honest I don't know how they're getting, that's on the inside, so I don't know how they're getting them clean that. This is the view from the 14th floor. That pool there is the Sol Pelicanus that was used in Benidorm, the series. Actually can't see really any of our hotel from the back. Let me see the other hotels. The main strip is literally just in front of that hotel. The side street. It takes you less than 2 minutes to get onto the strip. I'm not keen on this bit. It frightens me a little bit with little kids around. That's from the side of the balcony. Oh, that is actually our pool there. I didn't realise you could see it from here. It is about 8:30 in the morning and already I can see several towels over it. It does say in your welcome pack that you're not to put towels on reserved. Parking spaces down there for mobility scooters, and a nice sea view.
Yes.
You can get one off.
So when it came to meal times, the choices were very poor. As you can see, there's pasta with 3 different types of sauces. This evening was actually the best selection because it was a Sunday and they'd put on a roast dinner. So there's roast beef, Yorkshire puddings, vegetables, mashed potato and gravy. I have no idea what that was. That was some kind of lasagna. Then you've got some kind of fish, a rice, tomatoes and chips. Chips were on both lunchtime and evening all week. Then you've got fish, which was cooked on the chef's fresh station. They only ever cooked one, either fish or meat on there, and most of the time the meat was tough as old boots. That's the same pasta, just again further up. Then you've got the desserts. They they were all right. They were average, typical Spanish desserts. A bit further up, you've got a selection of bread, and opposite the bread, you've got pizza. Pizza was on every evening, but I didn't see it on at lunchtime. And if you've got fussy eater children, it was actually pizza made on wraps, not on your traditional pizza base. So other than that, then you've just got your salad bar. So the choices were extremely limited every night. I've been in hotels where you've had far more things to choose from. So this was a salad bar and fresh fruit, and most days it looked lovely and very appetising. And to be honest, most days I lived on salad because there weren't very many choices to choose from. Like I say, I'm not a picky eater, but none of it looked very appetising. I personally didn't go down for breakfast any of the mornings, but my husband said that it was perfectly acceptable.